this is SpokeTV, a weekly news show produced by second-year journalism students at Conestoga College. I'm Cassetta Black.
And I'm Connor Morgan. The fountain equipment in Carl Zehr Square has reached the end of its natural life cycle, prompting the plan to renovate the fountain and the square. Carl Zehr Square resides in the heart of downtown, often a place to come relax during the summer or enjoy the skating rink in the winter. Plans to redo the square are being implemented in their early stages, and detailed design will begin this year. Yvonne Fernandez, a Ward 4 councillor, talks about some key points in mind.
To change the orientation of the stage, make it a little bit larger. Also make it accessible, because right now if anybody has any mobility issues, it's very difficult to get onto the stage.
The plans include changing the older equipment in the fountain and adding jets that would allow the city to have control over the water flow. The changes to the fountain would create a shallow pool 50 millimeters in depth. The city plans to put money aside over the next 2 years and take any available grants to help fund the project.
The college faculty strike has impacted many students, but what effect did the strike have on the local businesses? Mike Stromey has more.
For 5 weeks, the Ontario college strike kept students out of the classroom. While it was a time of uncertainty and anxiousness for students, it certainly had an impact on local businesses as well. The strike at Conestoga College has affected local businesses in various ways. Kyle Finlay is the owner of the House of Patties, a Jamaican takeout restaurant located just up the road from Conestoga College. With roughly 30% of his clientele local students, he was expecting the worst.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, because the strike actually drove more students here because they had more time to come here. Yeah. But it did impact it slightly though, not as much as I thought it would, but it did.
Other businesses, on the other hand, weren't so lucky.
When you're stressed, you just don't feel like shopping.
Maninder Samara's business, Taza Food Market, certainly took a hit during the strike.
The big thing which was affecting us was a lot of the students had taken off because they weren't sure when the school was reopening. So about for a good 2 weeks we were really affected because no students were around here, right? And student being one of my main clientele, it really affects me.
Samara says that business has picked up now that students are back in class.
It's back to where it was initially, before the strike. So.
For SpokeTV, I'm Mike Stromey.
A research paper that has been released by the psychology department of the University of Waterloo has found a more effective manner to memorize things that is both simple and easy to do. Matthew DeVette Johnston has more.
Memory is an important part of life, especially for the lives of students. Studying for his classes takes up a large amount of robotics engineering student Dominic Delgado's free time.
If I have like an exam coming up or a quiz, I might do from usually me and my friends do, I'm trying to think, from sometimes 6 to 2 o'clock in the morning or 5 to 3 o'clock in the morning, depending on like how tight we are.
However, there is some good news for students, as a recent study from the University of Waterloo's Center for Mental Health Research has found a simple way to boost memory recollection by up to 15%. Professor Carl McLeod, the chair of the department, co-authored a study on the phenomenon called the production effect, which is responsible for this improvement.
So the production effect is you remember better what you said aloud than what you read silently. And what we found was a nice gradient across those. So performance is least when it's silent, a bit better when you hear someone say it, a bit better still when you hear yourself say it, but best when you actually say it yourself.
McLeod says that this is just the latest in a long series of experiments on the production effect.
So, as you can see, this research could very well help to unlock the secrets of the human mind, of how memory and our brain interacts with the outside world. And for those students out there, it could give you that little extra boost you need during exam season to get that A grade. For SpokeTV, I'm Matthew DeVette Johnston.
Millions has been spent at King and Victoria in preparation for the new Waterloo transportation hub. We have heard many complaints about the construction that the light rail has caused, but not everyone in the KW region is disappointed about the disruption. The LRT is expected to move traffic more efficiently and provide direct transportation to the main malls. The future location of the region of Waterloo's transportation hub will be located at King and Victoria. Millions has been spent at this intersection preparing the area for new homes. businesses, and leisure. In addition, new development of old buildings have been transformed. The LRT has driven up the value of properties in this area. Some residents are looking forward to the benefits that the LRT will bring to the KW region.
A study conducted by the University of Waterloo says women are naturally more fit than men. Jason Aesa has more on the story.
The research team at the University of Waterloo has figured out that during exercising, female bodies start to process oxygen faster than their counterpart males, which plays an important measure on aerobatic fitness. The study compared the oxygen uptake between 18 young men and women of similar age and weight during a treadmill exercise. Venkin Shukamara, a student here at Conestoga College, says females are more active mentally and physically than men when it comes to working out.
Right now, if you want to check in the gym too, we have seen so many girls working out that are making themselves strong enough than men.
Richard Hewson, a professor at the University of Waterloo of Applied Health Science who worked on the study, says the female muscles absorb oxygen from the blood faster and can consistently outperform men. Hewson talks about more in depth why women are naturally more fit.
On average, we know that women have more what we call slow twitch fibers, which have more mitochondria for using the oxygen and producing energy through aerobic metabolism.
Also, producing oxygen faster, females are less likely to have muscle fatigue, effort awareness, and poor athletic movement. Courtney Sanner, a nursing student, says women are more eager to get fit to make themselves look better than men, and agrees with the study because women are more willing to get fit.
I think it's all to their determination.
According to the University of Waterloo, it has been proven that women have a better oxygen outtake by 30% than men. For SpokeTV, I'm Jason Asa.
Great news for all the cyclists in Ontario. There's a huge investment to be made by the province for many new bike lanes, and the existing lanes will also be widened. A $4 million landmark investment announced by the province on Monday will be a plus for cyclists. The province is set to improve the cycling infrastructure around the region. This investment means building more bike lanes and also widening the lanes throughout Ontario. The manager of transportation planning, Barry Cronkite, says that this money will help the region speed up the process of the cycling projects in the city. Cycling in and around the region is said to be made easy.
The Oaks of St. George will be under new management come the 2018 golf season. Guelph North has added a new property to its growing arsenal of courses. When the Oaks of St. George opens next year, it will be under the Guelph North banner. Guelph North entered into a long-term lease agreement with the club on November 23rd. The course is located in between Cambridge and Paris. It is an 18-hole par 72 course cut into rolling hills and is 55 hectares in size. The course will continue to be semi-private with both memberships and daily greens fees available. Guelph North operates 30 courses in Canada, specifically in Ontario and Nova Scotia. In sports, we had a crazy weekend in the NFL as playoff races intensify. Only 2 teams have clinched a berth in their respective divisions thus far. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Philadelphia Eagles are playoff bound. However, the Eagles received a crushing blow at the tail end of their game Sunday. Star quarterback Carson Wentz tore his ACL on a rushing play and will miss the remainder of the season. The Eagles will now turn to Nick Foles, who's in his second stint with the team, in an attempt to make a deep playoff run. They did get some good news this week with draft pick Sidney Jones returning to practice. The New England Patriots were upset last night by the Miami Dolphins with a score of 27-20. In soccer, Toronto FC beat the Seattle Sounders to win their first ever MLS Cup on Saturday. They got their revenge after losing to Seattle in the finals last year. Around the NHL, we have the Toronto Maple Leafs in action tonight, looking to win their 4th straight. They will match up against the Philadelphia Flyers. Puck drops at 7 at Wells Fargo Center. Other Canadian teams in action tonight have Ottawa against the Sabres, Calgary against Minnesota, and Edmonton in Columbus. In NBA news, the Toronto Raptors lost a tough one last night to the LA Clippers with a score of 96-91. They'll be looking to get back in the win column on Wednesday when they take on the Suns in Phoenix. That's all for sports. And now, here's Cassetta with the weather.
Thanks, Connor. Now here's the weather. For today, we're going to have a high of -5 and a low of -11. For Wednesday, we're actually going to see sunshine, so bring your glasses, everybody. We're going to have a high of -8 and a low of -13. For Thursday, we're going to have a high of -8 and a low of -11. For Friday, that's the good day. We're going to have a low of -8 and our high is going to be -6. For Saturday, the weekend, it's going to be great. We're going to have a high of -1 and a low of -1. So that's our weather, and I think the week looks pretty great, but we can say that winter is actually here, so if you haven't already changed your tires, it's time to do it. Back to you, Connor.
Our impact on the environment is often overlooked. Within our city lies a very beautiful and almost entirely untouched forest called the Hidden Valley. Christian Apostolovsky has more.
Located between the Grand River and Fairway Road, just off of Hidden Valley Road. It has been a recurring topic as the city decides what its plans with the forest are. It houses rare florals such as hepatica and Virginia creeper. It also houses different species of animals, including the endangered Jefferson salamander.
I started looking at their environmental assessment and found it was woefully lacking in accurate information, missed species that I knew to be there. Bird species was the first one that caught my eye, and then later on vascular plants.
Neil Taylor, a member of the Friends of Hidden Valley who dedicate themselves to protecting the forest, spoke at an art gallery dedicated to Hidden Valley. There have been plans to build a highway through the forest, and there have been efforts to stop the construction of the highway. Faith Heblinger, the curator of the Homer Watson House and Gallery, explains the efforts of the Friends of Hidden Valley.
So they are in this to save a specific plot of land that is very raw and very close to nature.
Hidden Valley is a very naturally beautiful forest that is still very much raw and untouched. Gordon Nichols worked for many years with his late wife on protecting and preserving Hidden Valley.
It's an extremely beautiful property, especially the natural area parts. There's an esker there that dates back to glaciation from 10 to 11,000 years ago. In fact, there are 2 eskers. There's beautiful woodlands. Many of the trees are in the age range of 100 to 150 years old.
Off Hidden Valley Road hides a gem of a forest within our small community, holding a lot of nature's beauty, including many endangered species. For SpokeTV, I'm Christian Apostolovsky.
This tradition is over 80 years old. The Guelph Little Theatre's holiday show not only appeals to children, but features them on stage as well. SpokeTV's Marty Young has more.
It was a night of theater for young and old at Guelph Little Theatre's production of Saving Sleeping Beauty. The reimagining of the classic fairy tale was written and directed by longtime GLT member Ken Cameron.
I wanted to make something more out of it, and then I hit on the idea that, well, maybe we could follow her into her dreams. And that becomes, well, why do we have to go into her dreams? And that led to the whole idea that these other gifts that she'd been given when she was an infant turned her into a spoiled brat.
Guelph Little Theatre is one of the region's oldest, having been founded in 1935, and the tradition of young actors in the Christmas show dates back nearly as long. A unique opportunity for veteran members to inspire potential new ones. Oriana Abrams, who plays Crimson the Fairy, explains why this experience is so vital.
Creates audiences for the future. Every kid remembers that magical moment where they can identify with a character on stage. I hope, and this is a big hope, that I can be an influence for at least one kid to join the theater.
Guelph Little Theatre, since its inception, has been entirely volunteer-run. Dennis Gray, a member of the board of directors, believes in the tradition wholeheartedly.
It's family-friendly, it's fun, it's just about making the experience of getting started in theater as comfortable as we can possibly make it.
For SpokeTV in Guelph, I'm Marty Young.
Well, I might have to go check that out.
Well, one thing I like about community theaters, Connor, is that it's cheap. Like, the food is good cost, the tickets are not that expensive, and you get to see people from the community on stage, and you might actually know them. It's just that whole sense of everybody that knows everybody being together. Yeah. Community!
Yeah,
okay.
Get in the Christmas spirit.
You got it, Connor. Okay, so that's all we have for you this week, everybody. For more stories and information, visit our website, spoketv.ca. and follow us on Twitter. I'm Cassetta Black.
And I'm Connor Morgan.